I just want to say welcome, 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 everyone. Thank you for jumping on. I'm going to do a quick introduction of who I am for those of you who don't know me, or my husband who's going to jump on here a little bit later. But my name is Susan Alden. This is Jamie. You're going to hear from him at the end. And yes, we are usually in Hawaii, but we are right now in Nashville, Tennessee at Belmont University, where our son goes because he moved out today. So we're like down kind of in the
Feels like we're in the library.
Student center. I know. I'm sorry if I seem whispery, but that's just where we are today. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's see. And like I said, I'm going to give you just a little introduction. So you're at the Gut Health Call. If you just showed up, you're like, I don't even know where I'm here, but this is like my favorite topic ever. When we're talking about health and wellness, because, well, you're going to see but a little bit about me. So, the lens through which I'm sharing and the lens through which Jamie will share. We are both Army veterans. We went to West Point together, served in the military together. And I know there's some folks on this call that we also served with. So thank you for your service and friendship all these many years. We spent about 24 years as a military family. And Jamie served a career as an Army Green Beret, and I was an airborne paratrooper. But when I got out of the military, I started working in the health and wellness field, both in the civilian realms, but also within Department of Defense and Department of Veterans Affairs. And I was really doing a lot of work in the mental health. So I specialized in helping people with anxiety and depression, PTSD, chronic pain, all of these things that are a result of the military career and, kind of a byproduct of the great conflicts that we've been in for many, many years. And so I've been helping people through the lens of yoga and meditation and functional medicine. So when I'm sharing today, very much relates because we see how much chronic stress and trauma impact particularly the gut. So that's kind of the lens through which I'm going to be sharing. And so again, we have two boys, a freshman here at Belmont University. But all of that aside, here's the great common denominator. Whatever your background is, whatever your age is, doesn't matter if you're a freshman in college, in middle school, like our youngest, in the military, whatever profession you've done, however you live, we all eat, poop, and sleep every day, or we should every day. If you're not eating, pooping, and sleeping every day, unless you're fasting, okay, this is what we're going to get into. So the question I want to ask you is, are you experiencing optimal health? Are you truly experiencing optimal health? And, if you are, can you look at your family? Can you look at your kids, your mother, your father, your siblings, the people in your life that you love? Are they experiencing optimal health? So I hope wherever you are, that this will serve you. This information will really serve you in some way, with the understanding that our gut health is absolutely foundational to our overall health. If you're on this call, you probably are like, yeah, you get that exercise and nutrition and sleep, all of that is really critical to our health. Well, I will tell you that gut health is the foundation of all of that. And even our medical community are really starting to understand that this is so critical. We're understanding now that there's this profound connection between the gut and the brain. And that really comes down to, what's going on in our gut with the microbiome. So, foundation of health, overall health, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It impacts all aspects of our health. Now, a little gut check. So take a look at this list and see if you or somebody you love is dealing with any of these conditions. Probably they are, because we know this, a study from NYU Medical Center, they found that 74% of Americans have chronic gut health issues. And that's probably true in many, many countries in the modern world, right? Because we're eating way too much processed food. We have way too much stress in our life, particularly these days. So we're seeing these conditions are actually very common in our communities. we've been talking a lot about skin issues in some of our health and wellness circles. And our skin, our largest organ of our body, is often the first indication that something is not right in our gut, whether it's rashes or acne or, just any kind of skin irritation, right? Our sleep disturbances, all of these are really a reflection of, if we're going down to the root cause, what is happening in our gut. So, we can go down this list and even look at some of the more serious conditions, again, originating in the gut. And then, of course, from the lens through which I've encountered, much of the gut health conditions relate to our mental health and well-being. And I think we often don't think about that enough. But if we go to the root of anxiety and depression, we're really talking about what's going on in the gut. And you'll see why, I think, as we go along. But we're seeing a huge rise in antidepressants among teens and adults. And I'm saying they did a study from kids ages 13 and up and found that there was a 400% decrease in less than a decade, right? And that was a massive study that the CDC did years ago. I don't even know if we're there with this kind of in-depth study, but can you imagine what it is now? I mean, we know what's going on in our world. We know some of these studies from the CDC say that 1 in 4 women over the age of 60 use antidepressants. So I'm not going to ask for a show of hands here, but I guarantee you there's some folks on our call right now that have been dealing with this for many, many years. So the good news is you can do something about that right through your very own body. And this is empowering information. There's a great article in Psychology Today where one of the doctors says, probiotics, not Prozac, right? And why is that? Because in your gut, you actually make some powerful neurotransmitters that support mood and reduce anxiety and improve your concentration, your motivation. Neurotransmitters such as dopamine, norepinephrine, GABA, serotonin, these are all critical for your mental and emotional well-being. We know that our gut is lined with 100 million nerve cells. That's more than you have in your spinal cord and in your nervous system. So there's this profound communication going on between the gut and the brain. So, and again, it comes down to this microbiota that we're going to talk about. Another key point that I want you to remember, especially in these times, is that 70% of your immune system exists in your gut. So if your gut is not healthy, your immune system is compromised. That's the bottom line. And you can go right now to today and look at pubmed.gov, where we have many studies on our products, and research how there's this correlation between the virus we're all dealing with and healthy microbiome, both in terms of prevention and in supporting people in thriving after the virus or surviving even the virus. So go check that out. There's some interesting studies if you're a researcher, and I've kind of been a researcher given the places where I've served the health and wellness community. So what are some of the contributing factors? So let's think about this. Well, our mode of delivery at birth, infant feeding, genetics, 3 things that we didn't have a choice in, right? But we do have a lot of choice in some of the contributing factors: diet, nutrition. We were starting off chit-chatting about processed foods, right? We're intaking way too many processed foods as a society. Medication and antibiotics, including in your food sources. So you may be one of those people thinking, I don't take antibiotics, just don't do it. But there's a study from Johns Hopkins that says that 70% of the antibiotics sold in the US are for food production animals. So dairy, meat, all of these have a lot of antibiotics if you're not really conscious about how your food is being processed and treated and raised. So this is all creating these antibiotic resistant infections, which I'll share a little bit more about. I sort of foreshadowed that. I don't know if you caught my picture from India there, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that story in a moment. So lifestyle, of course, has a big impact, right? Our work-life balance, where we travel, where we're picking up microbiome, because, people have been on lockdown for over a year now. But normally traveling to different environments helps us to build microbiome, right? Those environmental exposures, traumatic experiences. Boy, do we know about that in our military community. Traumatic experiences and stress, massive impact on the gut. That is one of the common threads that I've seen among many people that I've worked with, is that regardless of what the physical condition was, there was an underlying gut health issue. So let me ask you this. What if improving your gut health could radically change your health and well-being? Would you be willing to take some steps in that direction? Let me tell you, it all starts with your microbiome. So what is your microbiome? It's a collection of microorganisms that live on us and in us to support our health. We're actually made of trillions of microbial cells. They actually outnumber the number of human cells you have in your body. So these microbiome are critical to your health. You've got them on your skin. I mean, think about that next time you're, going to there's like a zillion of them here at the university. You're, using the antibacterial stuff. Well, you're also killing off that good bacteria that we normally have, right? On the skin, we've got microbiome in our nose, our mouth, our genitalia, of course, in our gut. And these impact all aspects of our health, not just our brain, but it impacts our cardiovascular health, our immune health, our oral health. All of these systems are impacted by our microbiome. So today, we're mostly going to talk about your gut microbiome. And one thing to know is that your gut microbiome is as personal as your fingerprint. It's even different from the people. If you're, in the same household with someone, your gut microbiome is still very unique to you. And yes, it has something to do with your genetics, the genes that your parents handed down to you, but it also has to do with your epigenetics. In fact, 97% of our genome is actually impacted by the choices you make and where you live, your environment. So diet, lifestyle, toxins in the air and the water, the toxins you don't even see, the EMFs, as we're putting these phones up, next to our ear, sticking them in our pocket all day long, the medications, and certainly the stress in our life. All of these things, these epigenetic factors have a big impact on our gut microbiome. So a little bit of kind of gut anatomy here. Let's just get right to the bottom of it. If you look at this picture here, we have our large intestine, which is about 5 to 6 feet long and about 3 inches in diameter. And then it surrounds your small intestine, which, believe it or not, is 22 feet long. And so if you think about it, your small intestine is where most of your food absorption happens. And you think about all your food has to move through this digestive tract that's full of twists and turns, right? Now, the large intestine here is where 95% of your microbiome exists. So if you're looking at this picture, obviously not to scale, but you have your stomach here, you have your small intestine, and then the large intestine. So this is representative of all the microbiome here in the lower digestive tract. But think about your stomach. When you're healthy, your stomach is a really acidic environment, and that's by design, right? So that when you eat something that maybe was sat in the refrigerator a little too long, or you go to India and you have some food off the street, or whatever the case, you go to the sushi place and you're like, I don't know, I didn't feel so good after that, right? So if our belly is a little bit upset, just thank it, right? Because that's your stomach acids working. That is your stomach acids working to kill off the bad bacteria. But here's the thing, remember this, it's also killing off some of the good bacteria. So keep that in mind as we go through this, is that high stomach acidity we want, but not only is it preventing the bad bacteria from getting down in there, but it can also prevent some of the good bacteria that we want to populate the large intestine. So today we're going to talk about I like to explain this as a garden, how to create an abundant garden. So we've got three things we're going to touch on today: probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. So here's the way I like to think of them. you can think of the probiotics are those good bacteria that we want to populate our gut, right? And we think of some of the probiotic foods, and you're welcome to put your favorite ones in the chat. Yogurt is a probiotic food, kefir, kombucha, miso. You know, I know we've got some chefs in the house and some foodies in the house. So put your favorite probiotic food in there. Think of the probiotics as the seeds, right? The probiotics are the seeds that you're planting in your garden. Now the prebiotics are what feed the probiotics. So they're feeding that good bacteria and helping it to populate. And that comes from like some foods with prebiotic components are chicory, dandelion greens, seaweed. Those are prebiotics, the fertilizer. And then our postbiotics, I like to think of the postbiotics as the compost for your garden. So postbiotics are substances produced by the probiotic microorganisms that have the nutritional, metabolic, and immune health benefits. So they're secreted by the live bacteria or microbes that you're populating your gut. So again, like the compost, if you ever made compost, I think you perhaps get the idea here. Now, before I kind of go into the product details, I'm going to tell you how I first encountered them. So Jamie and I are both yogis, and we have both had the great pleasure of being able to go to India and study up in northern India near the, at the foothills of the Himalayas. And again, you know, a lot of different bacteria there. So I picked up some unwanted critters, some unwanted parasites and bacteria. And turns out it was a rather antibiotic resistant bacteria, right? Like my system was like, whoa. So I did not grow up taking a lot of antibiotics. In fact, I can count on one hand about the number of times I've had antibiotics prescribed, right? Again, probably have gotten plenty in food sources. Well, 2 of those 3 times were coming back from India. And so immediately when I came back from that trip and I was feeling unwell, and I'm sure some of you can resonate where you're just like feeling so bad that you're like, I got to take something to get me out of this situation. And I'm one of those people, like, I don't even like to take a Tylenol, but I went to that doctor and I was like, help me. So this doctor gave me, actually, this was in my second round of trying for this. The second round gave me a 4-day treatment of antibiotics and said, by about day 2 or 3, you should feel much better. Well, day 2 or 3, I was feeling worse. And by that time, I realized that number 1, the antibiotic was not killing the bad guys. And number 2, it was probably killing all my good guys, because if you are feeling increasingly worse as you're having digestive issues, that tells you that there's a real imbalance there. You got some real dysbiosis going on. So about that time, miraculously, divinely, a dear friend of mine, Kamaile, called me up and she said, I got something that you might be interested in. And boy, she had no idea. But the first thing that caught my eye about what she had to share was this right here. And it is a very unique probiotic, LifeVantage Probio. Now, I'll be honest, when I first saw 6 billion CFUs, I was like, I'm taking about 80 or 90 because I'm just going to Whole Foods and I'm going, give me the most you got, right? And I was plunking down about $80 for it. Let's think about this. If we think about the seeds, right? I didn't need 80 to 90 billion seeds. I needed 6 good seeds, 6 billion CFUs. So more is not always better. The specific strains in this product are what is key. The other thing that's key right here is this Wellmune. And I won't go into the science about Wellmune, but I'm going to tell you it's extraordinary. It targets the immune cells in your gut. So remember, about 70% of your immunity is in your gut. So that is critical. Another unique aspect of this product is this, I call it the delivery system, right? So it's BioTrack or DR caps technology, depending on what market you're in. And this is key. This is a time release technology. Now, those little veggie caps that most of your probiotics come in, they start dissolving and hit your stomach in about 7 minutes. So remember what I said about the stomach, right? If your stomach acids are high, and you want them to be, a lot of folks aren't, but you want healthy stomach acids. If your stomach acids are high, it's killing off some of those good microbiome, those good microbes that you're trying to get down to populate your microbiome. Versus the LifeVantage ProBio, it releases in about 1 to 10 hours, so that it's getting to where you most need it, down into the large intestine. So here's what it looks like. It's these little kind of round, unique little capsules. We know from clinical studies that at least 60% of it gets down into the lower intestine, versus only 4% of those veggie caps are getting down there. So in the delivery system alone, this product is 15 times more effective. And I will tell you, if you are in gut health distress, boy, you can feel the difference. I can absolutely attest to that. Okay, so that's our seeds, right? The probiotics. Our fertilizer, this is the LifeVantage prebiotic. And it's in fact, it comes in kind of, you mix it in a drink. So you sort of think fertilizer, right? If you look in the ingredients here, these are all plant fibers, all natural plant fibers that feed your microbiome. Some of the big ones here, inulin, which is derived from chicory root, this brown seaweed extract. These are things that we're not getting enough in our diet. Most of us are not eating enough prebiotic foods. There's also an amazing amino acid blend here. This product is really helpful if you're dealing with any type of gastrointestinal blockage, constipation, hemorrhoids, even if you've been struggling with diverticulitis, or you might be preconditioned to that based on your lifestyle choices. There are clinical studies that show how prebiotics are supportive of reducing your risk with diverticulitis. Okay, here's another one. This is a rather new product that I have personally been really excited about. It's called Daily Wellness. This is your postbiotic. So Daily Wellness it's really a unique product in that it's proactive immune support, and it's got 5 ingredients, which I'll talk about. I'll hit on each one of them a little bit, but what I really want to point out is these 2 aspects, these 2 ingredients. It's got elderberry, which includes all kinds of phytonutrients that support gut health. And then this whole yeast ferment, which is packed with postbiotic proteins, vitamins, amino acids, beta-glucans, and all kinds of stuff that makes your gut happy. Here's the cool thing. It also has these 3 ingredients: vitamin C, D3, and zinc. I think we're all hearing a lot about these three key components a lot. So this product, not only is it great for your gut, but it is spectacular for your overall immune health. Okay, I would be remiss to not share this with you. I know that lots of you, if you're on this call, you know how important that things like exercise and sleep and hydration, being mindful of what you ingest, not just in terms of food, but in terms of stressors and lifestyle, breathing and meditation, all of that is critical for your gut health. Here's something else. When we're talking about diet nutrition, if you are really struggling with chronic gut health conditions, or you have a known bacterial infection or parasites, you might want to do some weeding of your garden, okay? You can't just throw fertilizer on a bunch of weeds. You're gonna get the good stuff and you're gonna get the weeds growing. So when we talk about, you hear all these, these various diets, keep it simple. The top 3 inflammatory foods: gluten, sugar, and dairy. Those are the weeds. If you can eliminate or cut back on those, it can have a dramatic impact on your gut health. So something to think about if you've really been struggling. Now, another thing to keep in mind is, because you may be saying, I don't have all these massive gut health issues, I don't have any things on that list. Great. That's awesome. I'm still going to encourage you to take my look before you flush challenge. Look before you flush challenge, okay? Because your poop does not lie. It does not lie, people. Right here, I know everybody does those little poop emojis, but this is really what you would like your poop to look like. Sorry, I know, it's true. That's what we're talking about. If you're looking like the stuff on the outer fringes out here, probably not so good, because the size, shape, smell, color, and consistency of your poop tells a lot about your health. All right, so start paying attention before you flush. Don't wait till you get one of those diagnoses, or you can check something off that list that I shared at the beginning. Look before you flush. And by the way, friends, you should be pooping 1 to 3 times a day. I Googled this the other day and they were saying 3 times a week is normal. 3 times a week is normal. I'm like, okay, let's go back to the basics. Do you eat every day? If you're eating every day, you probably should be pooping every day. I mean, this is not rocket science, but you know, whatever. Look before you flush. Here's your gut health trio. Okay, this is it. And whoever invited you to this call can help you with this. They can give you some more details. Any of you are welcome to reach out and contact me or my sister Kamile, who's on this call. She knows a lot about this. We love to talk. We love to talk poop. Okay, so these are simple steps that can radically improve your gut health. That's the bottom line. I love to share this, leave you on this with this note. The seeds you plant today and cultivate with care are an investment that can lead to abundant health in all your tomorrows. So please do not wait until it's a massive problem. If you got a massive problem, we can help you, but don't wait till you have a massive problem. Just don't do that. So all of this is brought to you by this amazing company, which Jamie and I are super proud to be a part of. For about, I don't know, about the last 18 months. LifeVantage, it's a publicly traded company, and Jamie's going to share a little bit more. I'll take y'all, I'll stop sharing so then you can.
Oh. Thanks. Hey, everybody. I love this call because
you can talk a little louder.
Okay. Well, I'm in a library, it feels like. So I love this call because I really like to talk shit, and this is really fun. Talking shit. And Susan is the poop Nazi. We've been married for over 20 years, and she is the poop Nazi, and it's just been kind of disturbing with our kids, but you get used to it. But you know, we retired in 2017, and I'm just asking you guys, like, really, like, take this moment to take an inventory of where you are in your life and what it is you're doing, and is it where you really want to be? And like where you are right now, you know, just imagine, what does life look like 5 years from now? If you don't change anything, any decisions, you stay the same path you're on, what does life look like 5 years from now? And what does it look like 10 years from now? If you do nothing, if you change nothing, and is that where you really want to be? You know, that visualization practice I did 10 years ago. I was in Indonesia for 13 months by myself without my family. And I was wondering, is this the path that I want to be on? Continue to do great things, have fun in the military, but I'm alone. Our boys were 3 years old and 8 years old at the time. And then I fast forward that 5 years. Now I'm in the mountains of Afghanistan for the 4th time. And I'm sitting there thinking, what am I doing? The boys were 13 and 8. And then in 2017, we decided, you know what? I need to do something different. I want to be around for our boys. They're 15 and 8 years old at that time, or 15 and 10. And I'm thinking, I need to do something different. Here they are, I got a 15-year-old. I was pretty much absent most of his teenage years. And it was time for me to be home and help in those last couple of years before he went off to college. And here he is, a freshman at Belmont University. And I'm so thankful we decided to make a change. And this was in 2017. But what we did is we started our own business. And 2 years into that business, I realized that I was still trading my time for money. And I was lost. This was 18 months ago. And our dear friend Kamile, as Susan mentioned, offered this gift to us. And that's what it is. It is such a gift because it gives you the opportunity to take control of your health, but also take control of your life and join a team that is just so full of professionals, of people that are always looking to learn, and we help each other. We support each other. That's why we're on this call. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, helping our son move, and we're on this call because we care so much about this team, and this team cares so much about us. So we just want to offer that to you as well. And it's 3 easy steps. It's experiencing the products. That's the number one. Whatever's going on in your life, we have products across 6 different lines, and get with the person that shared this with you, and they can share other products available to you. So experience the products, experience the benefits of the products, the scientifically researched products that are unbelievable. I wish I would heard about this 20 years ago. And then the second step is joining the team. If you experience the products and you feel the benefit of the products, and you get to know who we are and what we're all about, you join the team, and we show you how to do that. And our team, LifeVantage, is a publicly traded company. What does that mean? It means you can look under the hood. You can analyze all the financials. You can take a look at all of this stuff. There's no hidden numbers. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is a get rich eventually, which is better than getting rich never. So in the third step, after you join the team and you want to share, and you have a heart for service and you want to share, is you share with friends. And we train, advise, and assist you on how to do that. We help you throughout the entire process. Wherever you want to go, wherever you want to be, we can help you get there. Because 18 months ago, we were exactly where you are today. We felt the same way. But this is what we found. And we're so happy we did. Thank you for taking the time, sharing your time with us. We really appreciate every single one of you. And we love you all.